Good Wednesday morning, everybody. I'm on my way to Texas, but I am recording a lesson to introduce your new standards. You'll see on our ICANN board, I only include 3, but we are going to be focusing on 4 standards before our next assessment. The first one is determining the meaning of words and phrases as they are used in a text, including figurative and connotative meanings. So even though we already assessed figurative language, we're now going to assess these connotative meanings, and we're going to analyze the impact of specific word choices on meaning and tone, which is an author's attitude. We're going to be focusing heavily on tone. We're also going to analyze how a particular stanza fits into the overall structure of a text, because we are going to be studying poetry. We're going to explain how an author develops the point of view of the narrator or perhaps a speaker in our poetry. And then finally, we're going to compare and contrast text in different forms or genres. We will be using biographies and poems. So before you read the poem, you're going to read a biography of the author in order to better understand the poem. Poetry can be very difficult to understand, so I'm going to teach you a very simple strategy that's going to help you analyze poetry. It's called soapstone. Every letter stands for something, so let's go through. The S in soapstone stands for speaker. You can ask yourself, who is the speaker? Who is this voice behind the poem? And that's going to help you understand the intended meaning. You're also going to think, what is the occasion? So sometimes it seems like there might not be an actual occasion or an event, but there would be a time and place of the piece or something that happened to prompt the poem or to prompt the writing. A is audience. Who is this piece of writing directed to? P is purpose. What is the reasoning behind this poem? What did the author want us to know? S is subject. This can easily be just one single word. It's the topic or the main idea of the poem. And then finally, tone. Tone is the attitude of the author. So we're going to analyze specific choice of words in order to better understand how the author feels or the speaker feels. So we're going to read The Toy Monster by Shel Silverstein and practice soapstone. You don't have to pick up your toys, okay? You can leave them right there on the floor. So tonight, when the terrible toy-eating Tuco comes tiptoeing in through the crack of the door, My dogs are wrestling. We're going to start over. You don't have to pick up your toys, okay? You can leave them right there on the floor. So tonight, when the terrible toy-eating Tuco comes tiptoeing in through the crack in the door, he'll crunch all your soldiers, he'll munch on your trucks, he'll chew your poor puppets to shreds. He'll swallow your big wheel and slurp up your paints and bite off your dear dollies' heads. Then he'll swipe off his lips with the sails of your ship, and making a burpity noise, he'll slither away, but hey, that's okay. You don't have to pick up your toys. Now that my dogs have settled down, we can analyze this poem using soapstone. So first we have to identify the speaker. In this case, it's clearly a parent that has a concern about a mess. The occasion seems to be a conversation. So even when it's not an actual event, what prompted the speaker to direct this to the audience? It seems that it's a conversation about how messy this child's room is. The audience must be a child because of all the toys and because he could possibly be afraid of the toy-eating Tuco. P, what is the purpose? It seems to persuade or scare the child into cleaning his or her room. So what is the subject? It's definitely about cleaning. And tone, which is the author or the speaker's attitude, it's sarcastic because it says here, he'll slither away, but hey, that's okay. You don't have to pick up your toys. So this line right here, hey, that's okay, sounds very sarcastic to me because we know by reading this entire poem, you don't have to pick up your toys. is not really the message that this parent is trying to send to the child. Now we're going to practice comparing texts from different genres. This is a biography. It is a biography of poet and journalist Walt Whitman. Before we read Walt Whitman's poetry, we're going to get a little bit of background information on him because it will have similar topics or themes as we read his poetry. So let's begin right here. Read along with me. Poet and journalist Walt Whitman was born on May 31st, 1819 in West Hills, New York. Considered one of America's most influential poets, Whitman aimed to transcend traditional epics, eschew normal aesthetic form, and reflect the nature of the American experience and its democracy. So the goal of his poetry was to reflect the American experience and its democracy. In 1855, he self-published the collection Leaves of Grass, now a landmark in American literature. What we're about to read is from Leaves of Grass. Let's go on to early years. Walt Whitman was born on May 31st, 1819 in West Hills, Long Island, New York. While earlier, Whitman's had owned a large parcel of farmland. This would be a large piece of farmland. Much of it had been sold off by the time young Walt was born. As a result, his family was of meager means when Whitman was growing up, which means that they did not have a lot of money. Whitman's own love for America, that's something else that I noticed, he has a love for America, and he was also trying to reflect America in his poetry. Whitman's own love for America and its democracy can be at least partially attributed to his upbringing and his parents, who showed their own admiration for the country by naming Walt's younger brothers after their favorite American heroes. The names included George Washington Whitman, Thomas Jefferson Whitman, and Andrew Jackson Whitman. At the age of 3, the young Walt Whitman moved with his family to Brooklyn, where his father hoped to take advantage of the economic opportunities in New York City. It seems to me that the main idea, something that is really sticking out, is that his love for America was going to be present in his poetry. So now that we've read his biography, we are going to read a poem called I Hear America Singing. Read along with me. I hear America singing, the varied carols I hear, those of mechanics, each one singing his, as it should be, blithe and strong. The carpenter singing his, as he measures his plank or beam. The mason singing his, as he makes ready for work, or leaves off work. The boatman singing what belongs to him in his boat. The deckhand singing on the steamboat deck. The shoemaker singing as he sits on his bench. The hatter singing as he stands. The woodcutter's song. The plowboy's on his way in the morning, or at noon intermission, or at sundown. The delicious singing of the mother, or of the young wife at work, or of the girl sewing or washing. Each brings what belongs to him or her and to none else. The day, what belongs to the day. At night, the party of young fellows, robust, friendly, singing with open mouths their strong melodious songs. Now we're going to analyze this using soapstone in order to better understand what is going on in this poem. Our speaker is an unnamed narrator, one who says that he hears America singing. But we have to look at singing. Are people really singing? Is this carpenter singing? Is the mason singing? We have to think, is this possibly a figurative meaning? So let's move on to the occasion. It seems to be a work day because the carpenter's working, the mason's working, the boatman's working. The audience, it seems to be unknown. I don't know who this is intended for. It's not as clear as our last poem when it was a child listening. What is the purpose? Oh, I thought I had something there. Our purpose is to celebrate America. The subject seems to be celebrating America, and our tone is certainly celebratory or proud. We can also say it's optimistic or enthusiastic because we can look at all of our word choices. Singing is a happy thing. So in order to prove that it's celebratory, proud, optimistic, and enthusiastic, we have to look at all of these positive word choices. Blithe. We look at strong. Again, we see singing, which is always a positive thing. We see more singing. We see delicious singing, which is always a good thing when something is delicious. We also hear robust and friendly and strong melodious songs. This is how I know that we are certainly celebrating the working people of America. So now, Walt Whitman heard America singing, but Langston Hughes says, I too sing America, which is going to be a very different perspective. So your job is to read a Langston Hughes biography along with this poem and analyze using Soapstone. You may very well find a connection between this poem and Langston Hughes. Let's go ahead and read Langston Hughes together. Follow along with me. I too sing America. I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes. But I laugh and eat well and grow strong. Tomorrow I'll be at the table when company comes. Nobody'll dare say to me, eat in the kitchen then. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I too am America. So now your job with your group members is to complete the worksheet that I've provided for you, which has a Langston Hughes biography, and you will also analyze this poem using Soapstone, and I have some other analytical questions for you so that you can focus on all of the standards. Have fun, work together, and work hard.